us about your project?
My name is Jean-Bernard Leon Foucault. My project is called the Foucault Pendulum. It is a 28 kilogram ball that is suspended by 67 meters of steel wire. The pendulum is then drawn to one side and is released to start swinging.
What were you guys trying to do or find?
The purpose of the experiment is to create an easier way to prove that the Earth rotates. And the way that the pendulum works is that it takes the same amount of time that it takes the Earth to rotate, so about 24 hours, divided by the sine of the latitude of the location of the pendulum to make one full rotation. So if you were to release the pendulum in the North Pole, seeing how the latitude is 90 degrees, that'll come out to be sine of 9 degrees, which is 1. So 1 times 24 hours, it will take the same amount of time that it takes the Earth to rotate for the pendulum to rotate. But if you were at the equator, where the latitude is 0 degrees, which comes out for the sine of 0 is 0, so you can't really divide by 0, but it will appear as if the pendulum is not swinging, and it basically just will appear that it's not rotating at all.
Where did the project or experiment occur?
The experiment was conducted in the Pantheon in Paris, France.
What other significant events were happening around the world at that time?
The experiment was conducted in 1851, so one large world event that was happening at the time was that the first flushing toilet was unveiled. And then another large event is that the refrigerator was patented. And then one last large event was that Moby Dick was published.
Who else was involved in the project?
Minus the workers who helped set up the pendulum, the only other person of significance who was part of the experiment was the president of France at the time, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, also known as Napoleon the Third. Napoleon III was a huge science buff, and he was the one who arranged for the experiment to be conducted in the Pantheon.
What was your role in the project?
I was the head scientist of the experiment, so I came up with the concepts and I designed the experiment.
What impact did your project have on the physics community?
My experiment was the first simple proof that the Earth rotated without having to take very long observations of the stars and then notice very minute changes among the stars.
What other projects have you worked on?
I helped discover that light moves slower in water than it does in air, and I also derived the speed of light. I discovered that Foucault's current, as well as helped improve the mirror and reflective telescopes.